We've never seen tornadoes like this before, and we need your help.
No, I don't chase anymore.
Kate, we can save lives.
I'll give you 1 week.
I loved watching this on IMAX because it brought me right back. It made me feel like I was in the middle of a tornado. It brought me back to being a kid again. This is the movies I grew up with. I love it. Now, your character, Kate, she's a storm chaser, and she has a sixth sense for predicting tornadoes. But one of the things that made the first Twister film so compelling was it was based in science fact and not in science fiction. Now, when you were working on this film and you guys got to work with, let's see, Kevin Keller, can you talk about the weather boot camp that you guys did and what you learned from that?
Yeah, Kevin actually, I think Kevin worked in the original as well.
Yeah.
I believe. And Kevin, he was so useful. And actually we had a lot of storm chasers there to consult too, of being like, is this how you do it? Is this how you would like describe these things? And we went to a weather boot camp. We met a bunch of meteorologists in what was it, NOAA?
As
Oklahoma University.
National
Yeah.
Weather Center.
That was it, yeah. And I mean, it was so important because, like, as well as the stunts and the special effects, the actual hardest thing was just to look like you knew what you were talking about when it came
Yeah.
to science jargon and stuff. But yeah, it's important that it felt authentic, and I think having them there really helped.
Awesome. Now, Glenn, you kind of have a personal connection with this film a little bit because in your youth, you encountered an F5 tornado somewhere in Texas. And then also, you worked with Bill Paxton, the late Bill Paxton, on Red Wing, and you got to pick his brain a little bit about Twister. What kind of helped you kind of craft your character with your conversations with Bill then? And also, can you talk about your how being in a real tornado kind of like helped impact your performance here?
Well, I mean, we talked about that in rehearsal like early on, which is like, as a kid, things are sort of just impressionistic. It's like you remember, I was with my Aunt Taffy and like, we had a car full of cousins, and I remember we were on kind of the road to the family ranch, and you're aware that this thing is sort of, you understand what's happening in the sky, and you understand that there's danger. But the big thing that I took away, and that one of the things I talked about, was that as a kid, you sort of trust that adults protect you.
Sure.
And then but when you look at an adult and they look scared and helpless, which is what happens when you're in the face of something where, you're absolutely powerless, but you have a car full of kids. I just remembered that feeling. And so we just kind of took that idea in terms of the rodeo sequence, that story, but it's not like I was in like any real danger. It's not like I was like driving through an F5 tornado by any means. It was just, but we got to, the other thing that I really took away from that experience was that we cleaned up afterwards. The whole family went through that community, and you just saw the devastation, but you also saw the humanity about how, the community picks up after each other. And I think that's something that at least is really just so infused with this movie, is how people rally in times of need. It's the greatest, these things are, absolutely tragic, but you really see the best of humanity sometimes.
Absolutely. Now, Anthony, you guys shot this in Oklahoma, like in 2003, in tornado season. Now, I've never seen a tornado in person, and I read that you had a session with Lee, and then you went out to dinner with him,
Right.
and you had your own experience. Can you talk about that a little bit?
Yeah, there was a tornado, I think, not too far from OKC that I think touched down, but there was some weather even before that, and then specifically in Oklahoma City, and I'm at dinner. I had just flown in that day. I was staying just for one night, and all of a sudden I'm at dinner with Isaac, and the windows are rattling like this and making like a noise, and I'm looking at the waiter like, yo, are we good? Like, is this like I genuinely was like, yo, like, we fine, or should we get up from here and go to our rooms and hide in the bathroom? Like, what do y'all have a place for us to be? And the waiter's like, yeah, I mean, it just, it happens all the time. And I'm like, all right, bet, I'll get sparkling water then. I guess we chilling, whatever, you know what I'm saying? Like, and but it was like the double doors of the hotel were moving, like it was raining super hard, and I was like, all right, I mean, cool. And I mean, the whole time we were shooting, it was just that. It was like, It wasn't that like that every day, but we definitely had days where it's, it's sunny, and then all of a sudden you're like, how is the wind blowing so hard right now? And like, we have to stop, we have to go, take shelter. So, yeah, super unpredictable. It was wild. It was like a wild experience.
Well, look, this film is absolutely incredible. Like I said, it made me feel like a kid again, and it needs to be seen in the biggest screen possible. Absolutely amazing. Thank you guys so much for your time.
Thank you.
Much appreciated, y'all.
Thank you.
Are those fireworks? Yes, ma'am.